So Omnicom Media Group has been leading that growth of CTV, particularly in the US. I think when we look at our share of the CTV spend compared to the total TV spend, we have a higher share than the market. I think we've actually embraced CTV early on, and particularly during COVID, we literally noticed that our spend on CTV exploded. So we are now starting to see that scale on CTV, which is really interesting. But we also see that the level of CTV growth varies by market. We obviously have more inventory in the US and in the UK. In other European markets, it's snapping a little bit slower. Of course, measurement is still an issue, and this was talked quite a lot today. In order for us to really get to a true converging space, where we will look at linear TV and CTV together, we need more holistic measurement solutions. And this is obviously something that will help the market grow further.
So there's measurement and then there's measurement. We've been talking a lot about attention as a kind of measurement these days. What are you doing around that?
We're very excited about attention and how that actually helps television and CTV overperforms on that metric. Attention is obviously a very important metric for clients. We think it goes beyond viewability because it's not just enough to make sure that an ad was served. You actually want confidence that the ad delivered attention. And so we see attention as a very valuable metric. And when you look at how television delivers on that metric, it overperforms other media, both in terms of the amount of active attention that you can get on a TV screen, but also the amount of attention, the dwell time, is much higher, longer than what you get on scrollable media or digital media. So it's actually a very powerful metric. When you look at CTV, it delivers even more attention than linear TV. It's around 20% more active attention. And when you think about it, it makes sense because the viewer experience on CTV and OTT is a lot more active. You can see the viewers will be actively searching for content that they want to engage with. And so I like to call CTV a lean-forward experience as opposed to linear TV, which typically we refer to as a lean-back viewing experience. And we think that explains why CTV does so well on attention metrics. There's probably another element as well that explains why CTV overperforms on attention metrics. We can see that there's a strong relationship between ad clutter, so how short the ad break is, and attention. And so the CTV environment tends to offer generally less ad clutter than what you'd get on linear TV. And we think that's also another impact that drives more attention.
I mean, how do you know? How are you counting and measuring attention of TV viewership, and who are you leaning on to help do that?
So we're working with a series of attention partners, companies that will measure attention on screens, on digital screens using eye tracking technology. So we are working with Amplified Intelligence, Lumen, PlaygroundXYZ, or Viomba. And on television, it's a little bit more complex because you need to use facial recognition because effectively you need the technology to recognize who's sitting in front of the screen, right? Is that your mom? Is that your friend visiting you? Is that your dog? Believe it or not, actually, I know from experience dogs do watch television. So the facial recognition technology is a little bit more complex. At the moment, there are two companies in the world that can do this well. T-Vision, they have a big panel in the US and they're launching a panel in the UK, and Amplified Intelligence. And we have done some research, quite a lot of research with Amplified Intelligence, particularly on television viewing behaviors and how that relates to attention.
What do you think is the level of viewer tolerance for technology in their home that is understanding who's in front of the screen?
Well, obviously, yeah, we have limitations in terms of how many homes we can put those facial recognition set-top boxes in. At the moment, the T-Vision panel in the US is based on 5,000 homes. Obviously, we couldn't have millions and millions of viewers tracked that way. It will also probably not be very cost efficient. But obviously everything is based on opt-ins, and we've got some very, very clear or very strong protections around user privacy, no data that actually identifies the person ever gets uploaded to a cloud. So all the data gets handled within the set-top box that's obviously in the person's home, which means that there's actually no way to send out personally identified information out to the cloud. One way we can address this challenge with the limitation of the panel sizes and the limitation in the size of the panel is by looking at a series of proxy metrics that are taking us closer to attention. For example, in the digital space, we're working closely with verification firms such as DoubleVerify. They have a product called Authentic Attention. And effectively, they're just repackaging existing proxy metrics, things that they've been measuring for years. For example, scrolling speed, generally metrics on viewers' engagement, and also measures of the impact of the format. And effectively, they calculate an attention score. The idea is that the more engagement we can create and the more signs of engagement, the higher the likelihood of attention. And so we can also apply those type of proxy metrics on the TV buying by looking at metrics such as ad clutter, percentage of premium positions in the break, or the measure of the percentage of contextually relevant programs that you buy in your campaign.